I'm gonna put it on my phone, tap it in. So you know what I mean? Like as of right now, we live, we going live on the social experiment. I have Miss Dana Dickerson in the room with me. We gonna do a little sound check, make sure everything is okay. But yeah, like as y'all know, we've been doing the social experiment podcast. I've been doing this for some time now, and throughout the time of us running our show, we've typically been running shows with just men, hosting men, and talking to different men in the community as far as some of the things that they have going on and some of the different relationships that they're building and connecting with, and just some of their drive and endeavors and what they got going on. And I know with it being Women's History Month, and then a lot of different people reaching out to me, I figured I was gonna involve more women into the show. And last time I did an episode, I had Brooklyn on here, and we did that for the class project. On the research paper. We got a great grade. Excuse me, let me slow down. We got a great grade. You know what I mean, and that was real exciting. So then I figured, like, I'm gonna extend my invitation out to more women. We're gonna get more involved with more people and have different conversations with different people. So the first person I could think of, like, quite honestly, was Dana. Like, because Dana, like, she been grinding, for a long time, like since we was young. Everybody know, like, Dana, she moving and grooving, she doing something with herself, she getting to something one way, shape, or form or another, and like I've always like admired you for that, so I figured, I'm gonna reach out to Dana and see what's up and see if I can get her on the show. And when I reached out, she like, no problem, so we put it together real fast. It's the social experiment. Everything is just like non-scripted, conversation, good talk. And we in studio. She decided to come to the studio and join me today. Like, so we're gonna have a good conversation and a good talk. So Dana, first and foremost, I want to say thank you. And I appreciate you for coming on here, you know what I mean, and having this conversation with me and being open to have a conversation with me. So, like, I mean, every guest that I have come, or the first question I always ask them is like, what made you interested in what made you want to be willing to come on the show and have this conversation?
Well, I definitely wanted to come on the show because, as you know, you inspired me to get my real estate license. Um, it was your idea first, honestly, and you said let's do it together. So I think you started your classes a little before me, right?
I don't know. I thought we paid for it at the same time.
We
I
paid
paid
for it at
for
the
it.
same time,
Yeah, and
but
we
I
got
didn't start mine until
okay, yeah,
January.
and I'm like, yo, you tripping? You got to catch up. Yeah, okay,
Right. So,
okay.
we worked together. We spent time at the library. We took tests together. We studied together. I even think we got our real estate license together, right?
Yeah.
You
I
know?
failed the test like the computer was messing up in the morning. You got yours, and then I got mine the next day.
Yeah, so I failed the test once and then I went right back and passed. So you really pushed me to get my license and it was a big change in my life. So of course I would come on the show, let everybody know how amazing you are and
Oh no, we ain't about to make this about me at all. Nah, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? I really truly do appreciate that because I feel the same way about you, honestly. Like it was kind of like a collaborative effort for real. Because I remember Andrea was actually the one who like, yeah, you should go get your license. And I know you was moving and grooving in the houses and stuff like that. So I'm like, let's see what's up against some license. So you know what I mean? We took it there, but I know like throughout like your life and throughout what you have going on, like I've always known you to be getting active and doing something. So even when it come to like Dana Dickerson, if you don't mind me asking, like who is Dana Dickerson? Like how would you what would somebody say about you when you weren't there that was honestly truly describing who you were?
I would say I'm a hustler. I'm going to get to it by any means necessary. But first and foremost, I'm a mother. I got 4 children, so
Okay.
they come first all the time.
Okay.
Um, but I just have a very big passion for real estate, um, fixing up houses, interior decorating, remodeling. Um, I love to give my tenants, you know, a great house where they're comfortable and they want to take care of it. That's big for me. A lot of these landlords out here are horrible right now. Horrible. So that's my number one goal is, fix up the house, make everything nice, make everything comfy. And, I want the tenant to want to pay their rent. I want them to want to stay, take care of it. So that's
So when it come to real estate, like how did you like what was your growing up? Like is this something that you used to doing as far as like being like were you living in like with your family, two-parent household type of we in the house, this is what it is, this is the dream. Like how was this establishing you? Like what was it like
so
coming up for you?
honestly, growing up, I always worked or did what I needed to do to get by, but I had no interest in real estate whatsoever.
Okay.
I was going to work. I worked at McDonald's, I worked at Splash Lagoon, I worked at Cheddar's, I've worked at Olive Garden. I've always had a job. So I kind of feel like after my second child, it really put a fire under me, and I'm like, I need more.
Okay.
I can't just keep getting by every week. So I decided to save one of my income tax checks and look for a house.
Okay.
That was the very first time I was even interested in real estate.
So wait. Let me slow you down real quick. So is it all just hustle? Like real estate. Like when it comes to you, like Dana, like outside of we're gonna take away real estate right now.
Okay.
We know you real estate. I know you real estate. Like I'm trying to figure out a little bit more about like your journey leading up to like how did we get you to the point, like what was life like for you growing up, if you don't mind kind of giving us a little bit of that, and like where do some of your drive come? We know you hustle, Dana.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my mom, all her kids is hustlers, all of them. She got 3 kids. My sister is a speech pathologist. My brother owns a gym and a food truck.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, my mom raised us all to be hustlers, to be honest.
Okay.
So, I was more rebellious growing up in high school. I was always in trouble.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It was the span from like 16 to 20.
Mhm.
It was a lot of lessons learned there. So
Okay. 16 to 20, a lot of so what we talking? What we talking? Take me in there a little bit. 16 to 20, a lot of lessons, because like, and the reason I don't want you to feel like I'm putting you on the spot or anything, because like the reason why I'm asking you this question that I'm asking you, and a couple of different things that I want to know about you, is because like I honestly feel like a lot of I can't speak for women, so I'm gonna say young ladies. You know what I mean? Because I have daughters. I have 5 daughters. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of young ladies can learn like a lot from you, just from learning about you, because from the things that I see that you do in the conversations that I've had with you, like you do amazing things. Like I know like men that you out hustle and you out grind. You know what I mean? When it comes to that. And like I would like to, for other people to kind of like get a like what makes you feel like somebody else can do what you do? Like outside of like what does it take for you to be just,
I mean, it's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Your mind.
Right.
You can do anything you put your mind to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Determination. Right. When I first started with Howard Hanna, Mary Huffman said, "What's one word that describes you?"
Mm-hmm.
And it's determined.
Right.
I've always been determined. Whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it, and nobody's going to stop me.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of like a gift and a curse at the same time. But
whoa, what does that mean? Wait, wait, that's what do that mean? It's like a gift and a curse at the same time.
Because I'm go. Like I'm all gas, no brakes.
Mm-hmm.
So I will admit that sometimes I get in over my head. Mm-hmm. And I have to work extra hard.
Mm-hmm.
If I buy more than one property at a time, now I'm looking for workers to fix this one, fix that one. And then, it's just sometimes I go a little overboard.
Okay.
It's always been rewarding to me. Right. You know what I mean? But it's just, I feel like sometimes all of my time and energy goes into everything that I hustle for. Okay. So by the time I'm done at the end of the day, I go home, cook dinner, get the kids ready for bed. I'm dead tired. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, no social life whatsoever.
So listen, so now, because like I can tell that even through your conversation, but since we get to that point, and like we gonna move it around a little bit, because when you say like I get that and I understand that mindset and I understand that mentality. So then when it comes to like mentally making sure that you are okay, like what's your thoughts? Let me ask you first, like what's your thoughts on mental health and like the whole mental health conversation and mental health subject concept?
I mean, to be honest, I've never had problems with mental health. I always, if I'm feeling down or if I'm feeling upset about something, I take it out on the house. Mm-hmm. So I'm ripping something out and I'm going to redo it.
Okay.
So that's been very great for my mental health, because I can focus all my energy into that.
Just period. Just
like, for instance, my boyfriend got sick a few months back, and he got diagnosed, and I came home and I redid the whole playroom floor in my house. You know what I mean? It just helped me take my mind off things, focus on that, and that helps my mental health. So I definitely feel like everybody needs to find something that they love and they're passionate about. And, when you feel like you're going through some things, focus on that,
So then how do you intertwine all of that when you like, how does all of the mom life come into there? Like, as far as like what doing the real estate and constantly being on the go, like because I see your son, I remember seeing him out on the field, like, and he was like a workhorse out there too. So like, when it comes to like being a mom and then teaching the kids some of this stuff and then showing them some, like, what is that like for you? Like, I don't know anything about when it comes to being a mom, so I'm sure,
Right. So, I mean, I teach my kids to be very independent. You know what I'm saying? My 16-year-old, well, he about to be 16. He gets up every morning on his own, showers, he's out the door before anybody even gets up.
So you got a 16-year-old right now. He says you got 4 kids, right?
I got 4 kids. My son will be 16 on the 27th.
So how old were you when you had your first child, if your mommy asked you without dating?
I was 18 or 19. 18. I had just graduated from high school.
18, 19, first child, grind time. Take me there.
Oh, it was rough. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm not gonna lie.
Take me. Take me. It's just a young lady out there who can learn.
Rough. So I had just had him. I was living with a few friends. We all were in an apartment together. And I'll never forget, he was like throwing up real bad, and I had no idea what I was doing. I panicked. I had called another one of my friends that had a child already, and she walked me through it. But the first couple months of his life was very rough, and it was a big eye opener for me. I just felt like I needed to go harder. You know what I mean? So I actually signed up for housing. And I moved into the Franklin Terrace. Okay. He was about a month old.
Okay.
So I moved there. I was working, taking care of him. I really didn't have any like plans in life. Okay. I didn't have any, this is what I want to be or this is what I want to do. I went to Great Lakes for health information technician. I went for a few months, dropped out. I'm like, this isn't my thing, Then I went to Tony and Guy, graduated, got my license.
So like licensed cosmetologist. Okay.
I did hair for a few months and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I love doing hair, but this isn't for me either.
Okay.
I just was very undecided on what I wanted to do in life.
Okay.
And then I started working at Cheddar's. So the serving life was like everything for me. It's just like being a hustler. You know what I'm saying? You have to put on the personality, smile, give people what they want. You have to give good service to get good tips.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I mastered that.
Okay.
So it was like, I'm going to work. I was killing them every night, walking out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Pocket full of money. So I worked at Cheddar's for about 5 years, 6 years. And a friend of mine was like, you really need to come up to Olive Garden. Like, we make way more money up there.
Right. So at this point, you 5 years, 6 years in, you working at Cheddar's, you live in a good life. Like, all right, well, like, no, not what you live in a good life. What does life like look for you in this 5-6 year period when you go from like, okay, boom, I go from this job to this job, I get into the service life. Like, what made you feel like this is it? This is what I want to do outside of like the moving and grooving? Like, how did that have an impact on your personal life?
Because I wasn't struggling. Okay. You know what I mean? I could do whatever I wanted when I wanted. I was comfortable.
Okay.
So it's not always good to be comfortable either, but I was comfortable.
Right. So you got to the point to where this is for me.
Yeah. So some years had went by and I'm still living in Terrace.
Okay.
I'm like, one day I'm like, I just need to change. I need something more, and I decided, I was going to start looking to buy a house.
Okay. Now, how old are you at this point when you're looking to buy a house?
2013. So
10 years ago.
10 years ago. 25.
25. So, okay. Mm-hmm. At the age 25, you're thinking, I'm about to go buy me a house.
Right.
Okay. I'm good. That sounds good. Great. You know what I mean? 25 years old, first house. So good. Take me through there.
So I only had $10,000 in my bank account. I had just got my income tax check.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I'm determined to find a house. And everybody thought I was crazy. Like, what? How are you going to buy a house for $10,000? You know, like there's no way. So John Easter was my realtor at the time. You know, I love John. He's been in the real estate game for forever, I feel like.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
But anyway, I called John. I said, hey, John, I'm looking to buy a house. Can you help me? And he was just like, of course I can. So he's like, what's your budget? I said 10,000.
Okay.
He was just, okay, you know, I'll take you to look at a few things, but I'm not sure we can get you anything, you know? So we looked, put a couple offers in. All my offers were getting shut down. And then finally I found a house. It was on 27th and Parade.
Okay.
I walked in. They were asking like 35 grand for it. It was a complete dump. It was bad.
Okay.
So I said, John, offer him 8,500. You know, I'm thinking I need a couple $1,000s to put into it.
Right.
So he like, I don't know if they'll go for that. So that's one thing I respect about John, though. I have to pause right there. No matter what I wanted to offer, he was with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As us being realtors now, if somebody calls like, can you offer 10? We're like, man, we about to waste our time, basically. So anyway, I offered 85. They countered at 20. And I'm like, damn, tell them 95.
Right.
You know, so he tells them 95. I think they had went down to like, I want to say maybe like 17 or something. And then I said, all right, John, tell them I got 10. That's all I got. I don't have anything else. So they waited a few days and finally called back and said, all right, we'll take the 10.
We'll take the 10. So $10,000. You bought your first house at 25 because of your negotiation skills.
Yes.
And your determination.
And I wasn't going to let it go.
Right.
So they took it. I was like nervous. You know, I was excited. I really didn't know what to expect. I was, you know, I've never done anything to a house at this point in my life, but clean it, you know? So we get under contract and we closed like right before Christmas 2013. Okay. So now I'm panicking. I didn't spend my whole $10,000 on this house.
And it's Christmas time.
It's Christmas. And I don't know how I'm about to fix this house. Like, how am I going to fix it?
Right.
I don't have any money.
Right.
So the house actually sat for a few months until tax time came around again.
So at this time, you're still living in the terrace?
Right.
Okay.
Tax time came around again, and I got a nice little tax return. Basically, I took that money and just ran with it. Brand new tub, sink, toilet. Like, I redid the whole house. A lot of the stuff that I bought, I did myself. Okay. It was like trial and error. I'm YouTubing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
so we're like, as far as like, how did you figure out where to go get the stuff from and things like that? Like, you was just like you said, you was on YouTube, like, I'm about to go here.
Yeah.
So you were still living in the terrace at this time? Okay.
It was trial and error. I was buying stuff, trying to put it together, crying, calling people to help. Like my cousin Angelique, I had bought some kitchen cabinets and they all came in a box. So they all had to be put together.
Right.
So,
oh, you mean like an actual, like
in a box.
Okay.
So now me and my cousin Angelique got our tools. We inside the cabinets trying to put them together. Oh, it was a good time, I would say. Now
it sounds like, I can tell by the way
that
I can tell you lighten up about that. That's what's up though.
So I said, I learned a lot on that. YouTube, you know, what didn't work out. And then, you know, when I did call workers, I would sit behind them and watch. You know, I was always the type to be right behind them, trying to see what they were doing and how they were doing it, because I wanted to learn. Right. You know, and that's when I realized, like, you know, I kind of like real estate. Right. You know, this is something I can really do. Right. You know, so now that I look back at that house, if we were to walk through it right now, you know, people would probably be like, what in the hell was she doing in here? You know what I mean? Right. But I got it together. We moved in.
How long you said it took you? A couple months to get it together?
Yeah, it took me about 4 months to get it together.
Okay.
I moved in and I didn't have any carpet on the stairs. We were getting splinters like crazy. Like it was bad. Nobody believed in me when I first bought it. They all were looking at the house like, what in the hell are you doing? Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it was like I guess a sigh of relief once it got done and everybody came in like, oh, wow. You know, they were kind of shocked. But once I moved in, I had learned about the lead-based paint program at the Redevelopment Authority. And I signed up with them. They came out, they gave me all new windows,
Mhm.
new siding. Anywhere in the house that had lead, they redid it
Okay.
for $100.
Okay. Okay.
And that program is still active to this day.
Yeah.
Yep. So homeowners can do it for their own home, or they can do it if the tenant's living there as well.
Okay. So then, boom. At this point, it's 20. You 25. You in there. It's you. You know, you and your family. And then, like, after you get in the house and you get yourself settled in, like, how do you start making your money back that you saved up and you spent all over again? Like, was you just chilling in there? Because clearly you say determination. Like, so what pushed you to, like? How long did you live there for?
I lived there about 3 years.
Okay.
So in that time that I lived there, I bought another house over on West 14th Street.
Did you buy the house to live into it?
No, I was gonna rent it out. I wanted to be a landlord at that point.
Okay, so now 3 years, so we 25. Now we track you at 28. So
I was in the house 3 years, but I bought that other rental property like maybe 6 months after I moved in.
Whoa. So you hold on, wait, slow down. So you spend your 10. Boom. Then you go ahead and you get the crib together, and then you buy another house. Now, how did you get was it the same guy who helped you get the first house? Is that the same guy?
John Easter was helped me buy the second one.
So how did that go as far as like the negotiating process? Like, how did you find that one as far as tracking it? And was you throwing numbers around or?
Yeah, he had just hit me up and said there was a house under foreclosure. If I was interested, maybe I could get it. I think it was actually listed with his company.
Mm-hmm.
So we went and looked at it, and I seen the vision again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, John, offer 9. He like 9. I'm like, yeah, offer 9. They accepted the 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I got that house for $9,000. I think I put like $2,000 into that house.
Okay. So at this time, when you buy this house for $9,000, where's the level of belief in you and stuff like that now? Like, where you at with that? Like,
now I'm fully confident. I know what I'm doing.
I'm talking about as far as like everybody else.
Oh, they were getting on board by then.
Okay.
Like, okay, I'm proud of you. You know, they were giving me my props. My sister was proud of me. Everybody was like, okay, she's on to something here. So I spent like $2,500 to get that house fixed up, and I moved the tenant in. So I was all excited. I'm like, oh, I'm a landlord now.
Right.
I'm receiving rent money.
Right.
It couldn't tell me nothing. So I just, like I said, it was my thing. Now this is becoming my thing.
Right.
Obviously serving tables was my thing. But I'm like, I can serve tables and collect rent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you still working? So are you still at Cheddar's? You said, you mentioned Olive Garden. So you still at Cheddar's with 2 cribs.
Mm-hmm.
So you working at Cheddar's. You own the house that you live in because you was, and it costs you, a couple bucks to put it together. You buy another house and now you collect the rent off of that, and you're still working at Cheddar's. Mm-hmm. All right, boom. So you owner of 2 properties, and you still working at. Okay, so after that, where do we go from there?
Ooh, you're making me take it back. So I think a year or 2 had went by, and I was like, I think I'm ready for another. Like every year I would do something with my income tax. Mm-hmm. I'm not blowing it on hair, shoes, vacations, cars, none of that. I'm buying houses. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I know them houses is going to get me
Hold on, wait.
Back.
And I'm glad that you're saying that now, because right now it's it's income tax time. Mm-hmm. So are you saying like right now it's a possibility that, people could be trying to buy houses with their income tax?
Definitely. I mean, to be honest, it's women out there with 3, 4 plus kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're in that tax bracket, you're guaranteed $10,000 back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
10,000 is the going number if you got 3 plus kids.
So then as far as that, when it comes to like, when you say like some of the women buying houses, like what's your take on like women having and buying houses and owning homes? Like, because clearly this is something that you do. Like how empowering is that for you as a woman, or is it empowering at all?
Well, it's very empowering. The fact that you can wake up every month and don't have to pay anybody a penny is what really gets me. When I bought that first house, mm-hmm. I didn't pay rent. Mm-hmm. I didn't pay a mortgage. Mm-hmm. I literally paid my property taxes once a year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So the whole month is free money. Uh-huh. Gas, electric, water. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like, it's a no-brainer.
Right. Really. So then even like, so now that you have that established, like what does that mean for your children? Now that you own real estate and you got property out here, like what does that mean for your children?
Well, obviously, if anything was ever to happen to me, I'm leaving everything to them.
Right.
But I want them to know you can be anything you want to be in life. You just got to put your mind to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I really hope one of my children is a real estate agent.
Yeah.
And follows in my footsteps.
I mean, they might just have to live off you for real. But like, all right, so boom, I want to hop back into that story. We're still going somewhere. I always sidebar, but I know where I'll be going. So then you had Cheddar's. Then it's like you got 2 houses now. You live in one and own 2. You get to that point.
Yes.
All right, so you get to one, and so you still and you're still a waitress,
still
as a server, whatever. I don't want to, so you're still a server. Now you got 3 properties in. Mm-hmm. So then, what is like? How does that shift your life as far as like? Why were you still working as a waitress?
Because I've always wanted more. That just because I had them 3 properties doesn't mean I was going to stop there. You know what I'm saying? Multiple streams of income need to be happening all the time in order to become financially free. Like, you can't just slack because you win in other areas. You got to give your all to all areas. You know what I'm saying, that you're working with. So I've always been like that my whole life. You know, I'm not slacking on nothing that I'm doing. I'm giving it my all.
Okay. So then when you go from there, when did you get to Olive Garden, and how did that, like, what did that turn into for you?
Yeah, so like I said, a friend of mine had reached out to me and said, basically, we making good money over here at Olive Garden. I'm like, well, what's good money? Like, so she gave me a little glimpse of what she was making, and I immediately put my application in, so they hired me on the spot. So now I'm working Olive Garden and Cheddar's.
Oh, whoa.
Both.
So you got the Olive, so you went there, you like running from street to street, just running across the street.
I was working both.
Okay. Sometimes
I would work Cheddar's from lunch shift and then hop over to Olive Garden for the night shift. You know what I'm saying?
Now, how are you doing all of this? You have at this point, how many children do you have?
I had 2.
So at this point, you got 2 children. Okay, so you got 2 children, 3 properties, and you still working 2 jobs. Yep. Okay.
So, I mean, I was getting it. You have to do it by any means necessary. So, I was really making way more money at Olive Garden after like maybe 6 months that went by. So I told Cheddar's I was going to have to, let them go. I was sad. I was there for like 5-6 years, but the money was there. You got to go where the money's at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I hopped over to Olive Garden full time. So, I don't even know, but I bought another house.
Somewhere in there is a house was bought.
Right.
Yeah, somewhere.
So basically, every year I get an income tax. I'm buying a house.
Since the age of 25?
Yes. Every year I'm buying a house. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Okay.
It's just this is what my plans is. And I felt like if, I can get up to 20 houses.
Right.
Right. And say I'm bringing in $600 a month in rent.
Right.
Because back then, rent was super low for real.
So how many doors do you have? You 35. How many doors you got?
I got 10 doors right now.
35 with 10 doors. So literally every year I'm buying 10. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's what's up though, for real. For real. So like you said, I'm getting my taxes and I'm buying a house. So then when it comes to that, like, how does the team come into play as far as like going in there and repairs? Like, are you having the same people come work in these properties? You doing it all yourself, everyone? Like,
so I have one guy that I've been dealing with for the whole 10 years. He's amazing. Like, I literally call him anytime my tenants call me, he shows up immediately and bills me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I don't have to have money up front. I'll get a bill, pay him or whatever. But his name's Jay. He works for Moon Heating and Cooling. So I just had to shout him out.
Hey, plug him in if you got to. That's what you got to do. Go ahead. Right.
But yeah, so Jay shows up every time. If it's a heating issue, water issue, any issue, Jay's pulling up to get it done.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I've been very fortunate to have him because that's a big thing when you're a homeowner is repairs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it has to get done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I use Jay. I have another guy, Paul, that I use. Paul's really good. I've been rocking with him probably for about 5 years now.
That's what's up. So it's some networking involved in this.
Right. So, I mean, don't get it twisted. It's still a headache. Some people might not show up. Some people might be busy.
Right.
Like, it's very hard to find good workers right now. And if you want to find a good worker, they're going to tax you because they're going to be licensed and insured. And that project that you wanted to get done for $10,000 is now a $30,000 job. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of got to weigh out your options there.
So then so when you got all of these doors and, as you're working your way up to this, like, what is it like for you? And is there like, what is it like for you as a woman going to somebody like, it's time for you to pay over? Like, do you feel like you ever dealt with problems because you were a woman when it comes to like
Not
collecting rent or
really.
dealing with tenants?
I'm very stern with my tenants. I don't play. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? I do have a heart, and I understand that people have children and people go through hard times.
Uh-huh.
So, I have some tenants that are late every month.
Okay.
Every single month they're late.
Right.
I charge a $50 late fee.
Uh-huh.
You want to pay me on the 23rd with the $50 late fee every month? I'm okay with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have some tenants that don't even call me. I just get a Zelle every month on the 1st.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So every single tenant has their own, we have our own relationship.
Okay, that makes sense.
That
makes sense. So even what about when it comes to like the buying of the houses and negotiating and stuff like that? Like when you first started, like do you ever feel like, as far as you being a woman, like that played a bigger role or a smaller role in any of the?
Not really, because they didn't know who was buying the house.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The realtor's doing all the work.
Right. So you strictly dealt with realtors, like you never like bought a house off anybody, like?
Never.
Okay, so every transaction's always been a realtor. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I've
never bought a house at the auction.
Why not?
Because you don't know what you're getting.
Okay.
I had a friend buy a house at the auction, and we walked in the door, and the ceiling was on the floor. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You could see the sky. Like, I don't trust houses at the auction. People break in because they're on the list, and they took all the plumbing, and it's just.
So, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because like that, I know at one point in time, like that was a major thing for, for Black people, for our people, like everybody, like I'm gonna go to the auction, I'm gonna buy a house and I'm gonna fix it up. You know what I mean? And I always thought that was something to do. But then like I was getting involved in real estate and learning different things. Like, I'm glad to hear you say that. Like, so even at this point, because there's people who ask me this question, like, would you suggest that any person take your income tax check and buy a house down there, as far as like being the first time homeowner or home buyer?
Well, the thing is, you just really have to know what you're doing and what auction you're getting into. Because some of them auctions, you go down and buy the house, now you're literally stuck with a $40,000 lien because you didn't do your due diligence to see what was owed on this house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Then they got the other auctions where it's, hey, everything's free and clear and wiped.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the house free and clear. You know what I'm saying? So now you thinking you're getting the house free and clear, and when you go to sell it, now there's a inheritance tax that you owe because that person passed away and nobody ever paid an inheritance tax on that property. So you think, oh, I'm about to sell this house for $25,000, and then now you owe $5,000 in inheritance tax.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It has to be paid.
Right.
So, one thing I will say that in our community that we need to do better on is, just because Joe said, hey, I got this house for 10 grand, you go down to the courthouse and you do a quick claim.
That was my next question.
Yeah. And now you're like all happy. Oh, I own this house. You so excited.
Right.
But you didn't took everything that came with the house and didn't even do a title search.
Listen,
a title search is the number one thing you do when you buy a house. That's the most important thing that you could possibly ever do. Ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then even if you do a title search and it's clean, and something pops up later on down the line, you have title insurance for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a very big deal.
Right. And like I was like, because I was going to ask you that next question too, as far as like buying properties, as far as the quick claim deed process, because I remember at one point in time, like when I had a notary license, it would be people who would come to me like, yo, I'm about to just transfer this over. So I was going to ask you your opinion on that. And then even like far as like, I mean, you just offered the piece of education on that. So she said, I'm buying my houses. I'm going strictly through houses. I mean, I'm going strictly through a real estate agent at the age of 25, get to 35. Now we at 10 doors, right?
Well, technically 11.
Okay, technically 11. All right, so then we got some comments. Because I was going to add, you know what I mean, as far as that, like, how does that work? Because, a lot of people, they talk about the B and I guess 3 R's. I ain't about to sit here but like, how does it come to you, like, when it comes to taking out lines of credit? Or have you ever took one property to, like, refinance or put it up to buy more properties? Like, are you building a portfolio to where, you know what I mean, like now the houses are paying for themselves? How does that work, and how can we do that?
So basically, for example, I bought 1312 Lynn Street, right?
Okay.
I bought the house for about $29,000, put about 10 into it. I know the house is worth 100 all day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna go to the bank
and
say, hey, I want to pull some cash out on this property.
Mm-hmm.
The banks are willing to give you think it's 70 or 80% of what the house is worth.
So when you say pull some cash out on this property, like what does that mean?
So I'm gonna walk in the bank and say, hey, I got 1312 Lynn Street.
Right.
They're gonna do an appraisal and say, okay, your house is worth 100,000.
Right.
I want 80,000.
Right. So when you get that money, are you giving the bank your house, or you now paying a mortgage to the bank?
So I'm gonna get the 80,000 in the form of a check. And this is just hypothetically speaking. And now I owe the bank a payment every month.
Right. So it's right. So yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So now I got the 80,000 in my account, but I owe you guys 500 a month.
Right.
You know, for 30 years or however long you want to do it.
Until you pay it off.
Right.
But then this is the next question that I wanted to ask you when it comes to that. So now when you got this 80, if you buy another house, that house is free and clear. So no matter what happens with that 500 a month, whatever you spent the next 80 on, nobody can touch that because that is now yours free and clear cash, right? So then when you take that 80 to what I've been hearing and learning is like the next step is to buy another property. And
yeah, it's just a repeated cycle till you're so far up, you don't have to do anything but sit back and collect. You know what I'm saying? I bought all my houses cash. You know what I'm saying? So I never had to pay interest or pay a bank back ever. But it's definitely people out here that are making a killing, just keep repeating the process over and over and over again. I haven't got into that yet. I'm just comfortable where I'm at right now.
So, oh man, because I was gonna ask you, do you suggest that that's something that people do? Because like, even with something like that, like, so you're saying 10 doors, and if you can pull like that, like, how much could you buy, and even like, who could you teach? Like, can you teach people to do that?
Yeah, definitely. The money that you're paying monthly is basically paying for itself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So say I pull 80 out of the house, right? And my tenant pays me $1,100 a month right now.
Right.
So I'm paying $500 back to the bank, $600 I'm putting in my pocket.
And you own a house free and clear.
And I still got the 80 to play with.
Right. You know so then how long? So now as far as that house, once you make that move one time, how long do you have to wait before you can do it with the new property? Can you turn right back around and go to the bank while you still own the other one and say, I want to do this again with another property?
So I'm not sure on that. I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I have not done it yet.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm looking into it. But I will say that I deal with hard money guys now.
Okay.
I just got into the hard money world.
Yeah, I was supposed to go to. I'm thinking about going to that thing tomorrow, the Eventbrite.
Yeah. So my hard money guy, his name's Joel Miller.
Yeah.
He gave me $40,000 to buy a property.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you pay $400 a month for 12 months, and you can either refi, give him his 40 back and continue with the payments, or you come out your bank 40.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm almost at my.
Oh wow! You just put me on something crazy.
Yeah. So I'm at.
Wow.
So I did that in July. So here we are in March, April, May, June, July.
Funny. So, he said, "Ask her who her mentor is."
Not you, Jacan.
But yeah, so that's what the hard money lending thing is.
And it's you pay points. So
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anyway, long story short, I know that my 12 months is coming up here soon. You know what I'm saying? So I reached out to Joel and was like, listen, I got a proposition for you. Let's take that 40. I'm going to give you that 40 back and you're going to buy me the new house.
So wait, slow down. Just so I know, like, what does it take to actually to get a hard money loan from? Like, do they have to know you and trust you?
Yes.
So it's not even based on like, could any person come to a hard money lender like they would go to a bank?
Yeah. So basically, when you go to a hard money lender, you got to sell yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's like a job interview.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Hi, my name's Dana. I work for Howard Hanna. I own such and such amount of properties.
Right.
I'm looking to get 40,000.
Right.
They don't look at your credit.
So like, okay.
That's you know what I'm saying? They want to build a relationship with you and be able to trust you.
Right.
You know, and once you show them that you're trustworthy and you can make your payment every month, they'll give you whatever you want.
And the hard money lenders, they definitely get down with the real, because I know Joe is a hard money lender too.
Is he?
Yeah. Yeah. So like, then when you come and you build that relationship and then you making moves like that, like 40,000 hard money. So then what you say is you take it back to the bank. Like, okay, because it's now yours, it's on yours. You about to give him his money back. You know for sure he gonna get his money. Like, are you doing the research on the properties that you want first before you go ask for this money? Like, because I know at one point in time I heard Joe say, like, if somebody comes to me with a deal that, sounds too good to be true, like, depending on how we work it out, like, if you already have a deal together, I would jump on it. Or do you just like, hey, I'm Dana, here's my resume, boom, I need 40.
So the first deal I did with him, actually, Fat Man Scoop was my buyer.
Okay.
Okay.
I remember you calling me like, I got something going on, don't tell nobody. Like,
yeah, so Fat Man Scoop calls me like, listen, my daughter going to college up that way. I really need a house for her.
Right.
So he sends me the pre-approval. I'm all excited to be working with him. And we get to the very end and the whole deal falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
It was just overseas money getting mixed with U.S. money, and it was just messy.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're at the end, and I'm panicking because the whole deal falls through. So I called Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Joel, please help me. You know what I'm saying? At this time, I didn't know Joel from a can of paint.
Right.
Somebody had just gave me his contact information.
Right.
So I'm like, Joel, please help me keep this deal together. Like, he needs to borrow $100,000. You know what I'm saying? He's credible.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, not doing it.
Right.
Hung up.
Right.
So me calls back next day. Hey, it's me again. He really needs that money. Like, we can't let this deal fall through. Somehow I talked my way into letting him give him the $100,000.
Wow.
So deal's done. House is sold. Everybody's happy. I think he paid Joel off like super quick in like 6 months or something. You know what I'm saying? So me seeing how easy that was,
right.
I'm like, I'm about to give it a shot. So I find a house. I called Joel. Hey, it's me. I need some money.
Right.
So basically, what he does is wants to walk through the property with you first.
Right.
He wants to look at it, give you his opinion and all that good stuff. So he walks the property and he was like, yeah, you got a steal on this place.
Man.
Here's the 40,000.
So listen, so now because I got some questions. I want to slow it down a little bit and take it back to, so even mentioning like getting into real estate, like as you're buying these properties, how many did you have before you got your real estate license?
Now you're gonna make me think.
I mean, you only had a license for like a year and a half now.
Right.
Right.
So I bought, after I had my real estate license, I bought in 3 houses.
Okay. So then you honestly sitting here telling me you never ever thought about getting a real estate license until I said something to you. Like I thought you was in them classes already or something.
So after I had my 3rd child,
okay,
I signed up for the real estate courses. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My friend Jessica Coleman, she's on my team at Howard Hanna.
Yeah.
She got her license a year before me. And she was like, we were going to do it together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I had the baby. I was doing the classes. And I'm like, I just, you know what I'm saying? Right. I didn't finish. You know, they only give you 6 months to finish the courses online.
Right.
So I let my time run out.
Okay. So then you like, all right, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to give it another go around. So when you first decided to jump back into real estate, like why did you want to be a real estate agent after you already know you were a landlord? You still, because I definitely remember you still was working. You know what I mean? So you're a landlord now, you're working a job, you're making good money. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to be an agent now. Like what made you want to do both instead of just, being like an owner?
My plan was to, instead of pay a realtor out of pocket for these houses I want to buy, why not keep all the money in the house? You know what I'm saying? Get my real estate license. Now I can go look at these houses. I can put the offer in and I get a commission check.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my plan for my real estate license. I wanted to buy all my properties with my own license and make money that way as well.
Okay. Okay.
So that was really my only plan. After I got my license, it just went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? People were reaching out to me. We were putting offers in. They were getting accepted. We were closing on houses left and right. Like it was just booming.
Okay.
After I got my license.
Okay.
So
then even like, so you get your license so you can make sure pretty much like I don't need no middleman. I want to seal the deal. I want to go through and do it how I want to do it. So then after that, like, cause I remember you had the class. Now I think, oh yeah, you signed with a broker before I did, because I remember you had the class and I didn't have my license yet, but we came down there. So like, what was like the motivation behind that? Because I remember we had a couple different people teaching the home buying process. Like,
right. So after I got my license, I held that first time home buyer seminar
Mm-hmm.
at the Avalon Hotel, and I had like 80 people sign up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was so excited. I wanted to teach everybody the game.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to show everybody financial freedom. And I just feel like a lot of women in Erie, and I mean, don't get it twisted, because I was one of those people. It's like you want to make just enough,
Mm-hmm.
but not enough. Because you
Right.
don't want to lose the food stamps.
Right.
You don't want to lose the health insurance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You don't want to lose the Section 8.
Right.
So it's like I can work 40 hours, but I need to make sure I'm only bringing home this much, because if I do, then they're going to take everything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I respect you for saying that.
I spent those years when I was living in the terrace
Right.
not wanting to go over, because I didn't want to have to pay all my rent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't want to have to buy all my food.
Okay.
You know, it's really takes something to actually click in your mind for you to be like, you know what? They can keep all that.
Right.
I'm going to just go above and beyond and provide for my family on my own.
Right. Right.
But until you actually get that mindset that that's what you want to do, you're going to be forever trapped in the box.
Okay. I respect that. I respect that. I respect that.
That's a big thing for me right now. I'm trying to get all my friends on board and just let them know, like, forget them programs, forget what they offering you, because I feel like they're doing that because they want to keep you there.
Okay.
You know, they just
absolutely. I agree.
They don't want you to grow.
I agree. So then, like, as you coming from one of them situations, and I'm glad that you even like acknowledge the fact, like, yeah, I thought like that too. So like, you was strongly suggesting, you was strongly encourage, you know, like, for more women to look into like home ownership.
Definitely.
So, and then as far as that, like, do you think that now is a good time to do it, and now is a good opportunity to do it, to where like you can help some of these ladies like get to this point if they was to reach out to you again and say do it again? Or do you feel like that one time it was like, they broke your, like, was it heartbreaking to like?
Yeah, so when I don't think anybody knows, but I hosted the first time homebuyer seminar, and I had 80 people sign up, and 5 people showed up to my class. 5 people. I brought everything you needed to know about real estate to this class, and 5 people showed up.
Right. So when they like, how did that affect you? Honestly, because I remember I was there, I was in there, I was listening, I rocked out with you that day. My whole
spirit.
Okay.
I was so upset and sad because I brought Dennis Bort from Bort Insurance. You know what I'm saying? I brought Judy Malcolm, the Howard Hanna Mortgage. I brought Lynn Furch, who does title. When you're buying a house and you got to do a title search. I brought the home inspector.
Right.
I brought you to help talk about credit.
Right.
Like, I brought everybody you would ever need to buy a house, and 5 people came.
Right.
And shout out to Lady Mark, because she was one of the 5 people, and we got her a nice house.
Right. That's what's up. I remember her being in there, and she was sitting in there and she was taking notes and stuff like that. But then, like, you know, because I definitely understand how difficult it is to, like, when you have some information that's so good, you want to give it to everybody else, and everybody ain't on board with it. And then for you to have that event, because I remember, like, you was looking forward, you had the snacks out there ready to go, like you was ready to rock and roll, and it didn't turn out to how it was. But like, I definitely truly believe that, like, you understand the importance of that. And like, when it comes to changing that mindset outside of just somebody just waking up, like, what would you say to like to make that a thing? Is that something that you would want to do again, or did it hurt you that bad?
No, I definitely would do it again.
Okay.
But I feel like now I'm not giving out my time for free.
Okay.
That class was completely free for everybody. I provided refreshments, snacks. I spent money on folders, everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now I feel like if you want to come to a first-time homebuyer class and you're serious, it's going to be a small fee. So I know that you really want to come learn, and you're really going to show up.
Okay.
Not anything crazy, $10-$20. You know what I'm saying? But it's just now my time is not free anymore. So
okay. I got you. So now when you moving at this pace, you know, you moving at this speed, and like like you're saying, your time is not free. So then it's like, how much, what would you want that to look like? Like, let's say, for instance, just for outside of the money's sake, like, if you were to say, okay, I'm gonna host this seminar, what would you like want the population to like? How would that turnout be? Like, what would you expect, or not expect? What would you like to see as far as when you stood up there and start talking? What would you want the crowd or the audience to look like?
Me.
Okay. What do you mean when you say that?
Me. You know what I'm saying? I want all the single moms with children to really put their best foot forward and get them a house. You know what I'm saying? And just boss up on everybody. That's what I love to see. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to help people get there. Um, like I said, I just feel like the system keeps you trapped.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
they don't, it just sucks. You know what I'm saying? Even childcare. You make too much money. Now who's going to watch the kids? Childcare's $300 a week.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So now you can't work full time. You only can work 30 hours because you don't want to lose your childcare.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just a very tricky spot to be in, and it really sucks for real. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, once you overcome that and you step out of that box and you come like beyond that,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't even have to look back. I'm telling you, it's so much more worth it, so rewarding. I wouldn't change anything.
So then, would you also like to see, like, okay, if once we get to that point, even if we don't get to that point, like, let's say for instance, people still want to, continue to do their thing, like, would you like to see more like black women become real estate agents?
Oh yeah, I had reached out and I had inboxed probably about 3 or 4 women, and I was willing to help them go through the courses
Mm-hmm.
to get their license.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I am I think there's only one other black person in my office.
Okay.
I'm the only one.
Okay.
So, and I'm in there and I'm always the only one.
Right.
But I kind of feel like it's honestly been like that my whole life. So I went to McDowell. So at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me.
Right. You comfortable with it, but even if just like as far as like, because it seems like real estate has done a lot of amazing things for you, and like I'd be real big on like trying to get different women on board to follow suit. Like why is it that? Well, I don't even want to ask you that to put you in a position like that, but do you think that more women should be reaching out to you to ask you questions about how can I get on board or on track with pretty much what you got going on? Because I feel like it is, but again, I don't like to speak for women. I'm not going to sit here and speak for women, but would you like to see something like that? Because I will say I would appreciate if a lot more men reached out to me like, yo, bro, I'm trying to, and when they do, I respond. So there are people
Right.
who do, but as far as like what you got going on, like, would you like to see that?
Definitely. So I'm gonna be honest. I have so many people in my inbox looking to rent houses. You know, literally, it's constant 24/7. You know, do you have anything for rent? Do you have anything for rent? So if anybody wants to reach out to me, I prefer you to call me directly.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want you to feel like, well, I reached out to her and I texted her and I inboxed her and she never responded.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not ignoring you, but I'm more of a phone call type of person.
Okay.
I don't do all the text message. Like even with my own family, I'll open up my mom's text and forget to respond. 3 days later, she's like, hello. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just big on phone calls.
Okay.
Call me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? My number is all over the place.
Okay.
On Facebook, if you click on my Facebook page, my business card's on there with my number right at the bottom.
Okay.
So if anybody's interested in getting into real estate or you just want some advice or somebody to talk to, you're more than welcome to call me anytime. But don't think because I didn't respond to your inbox, I'm ignoring you. I promise you I'm not.
So how do you think that would look around here or around, the city of Erie if it was just like a group of black women who were real estate agents and was really out here getting to it like you would, like, how do you think that would look? How do you think that would impact us around here?
So that's my dream.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to I love Mary and I love the Mary Huffman team. She's done amazing things for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm comfortable where I'm at right now.
Uh-huh.
But one day I want to get my broker's license.
Right.
And I want to have a team underneath me of black women. You know what I'm saying? Then we can take over the city.
Mm-hmm.
We can get into these programs. We can get these grants. We can get everybody help buying a house. That's what I want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not in the position to do that.
Right.
First of all, you have to have your real estate license for at least 3 years.
No, I don't mean like actually like working under you, but just even if they was your competitors, you know what I mean? Like even if it was just more like black women who was like, you know what, I want to do that too. And like not necessarily I want to work under your brokerage because we work on our brokerage, we still learning. Like that's a jump and I look for that too. But like I be trying to push it on different people. Like when they ask questions like, yo, you should get your real estate license. Like this is a good avenue and it's good information to learn. And then like as far as like understanding the importance of it, like why not have that piece of information so you can learn more and so you can teach more? but I definitely want to be able to have a team underneath me. But I just meant like, marching and stepping with you.
Right, definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I had a group of 4 girls in the inbox that we had a group chat going.
Okay.
And they were posting their progress, and I was all excited. Kept telling them, keep going. If you ever have any questions, reach out to me. And I'm not sure, honestly, I'm gonna have to reach back out to them because I don't think any 4 of them got their license, or maybe they're still doing the classes. I don't know. I have to reach back out and see. But
so why do you think that it's not a lot of Black people who do that, like, are real estate agents? Because I think it's only like 7 or 8 of us, like, for real, in the city of Erie. Like, I can name the ones that I know offhand, and I would like to see more. But do you think that being a real estate agent is an intimidating field on like, even if we take the color thing away, like, is it intimidating on a person, period? And is it more stressful for a woman than it is a man?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you have to have the personality for it.
What is that supposed to look like?
Like, you have to be friendly. If somebody calls you and say, I want to look at a house today, and then you go over to the house and you're just silent and you're all awkward, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have some type of personality. You have to know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be asking questions. Well, do you think that roof is old? What about this hot water tank? You know what I'm saying? Right. That's your expertise. You can't actually give them an answer because you're not a home inspector.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you can look over the seller's disclosure with them and let them know, hey, the roof was put on 2014. You just have to be educated. And personality is everything to me.
Okay.
It's the vibes.
Okay.
You got to have good vibes.
Okay.
I always wanted to keep it in the community. That's why I used John, you know what I'm saying, for all those years. He was, like I said, John's an amazing realtor.
Right.
He's more into the wrestling thing now, I kind of feel like.
Okay.
I think he's a wrestling coach for Erie High.
I would have to see him. I don't know.
You don't know who John Easter is?
I don't know who John Easter is.
Okay. Oh, you got to look him up. He works for Pennington Lines.
Okay.
But yeah, that was my go-to guy for years.
Okay.
Upon years, So even if you do it in your spare time, I mean, I worked at Olive Garden until March. You know what I'm saying? So the whole time I'm showing houses, I'm taking my computer to work. After I'm serving the soup and salad, I'm writing up offers at the back table. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like, don't quit one thing until you know for sure that this other thing is going places. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, now boom, you got your license going. You buying houses. Like, what type of properties is there a certain type of, like, where are you most of your stuff at? Like, where are you buying this stuff at, and what's your plan, like, as far as your game plan with the doors and all of that? Like, is it all? Let me ask you this, and I hope I don't put you on the spot with this. Like, is it all a money thing?
Is it all a money thing?
Yes.
I mean, money's nice to have. Everybody wants it, right?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But a lot of my properties are on 21st and Parade, 11th and Parade, 7th and Parade. You know what I'm saying? East 8th Street, Lynn Street. All my properties are on the east side. I only have one property on the west side right now.
Okay.
But like I said, the neighborhoods aren't the greatest. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I take care of the property.
Right.
I'm putting new roofs on. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm redoing floors. I'm putting in new kitchens. I'm going to make it comfortable for that tenant. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I will say right now, I got a nice crew of tenants. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy with everybody right now.
That's what's up.
So it took a while to get there, though.
I was just about to say, take me through that a little bit as far as like the tenant situation. How much time I got left with you?
We got like 10 minutes left.
I got like 10 minutes left with you.
But yeah, so the first couple years of being a landlord was horrible for me.
Okay.
Horrible. I'm chasing the tenant down. They want to pay when they want to pay. It was bad. Okay. It was real bad. I had a tenant set the house on fire.
Like intentionally?
Their children were in the bedroom and set the bedroom floor on fire.
Oh, I thought you meant like on some just, you know what?
No. They set the kids set the house on fire.
Oh, wow.
I've had tenants not pay, and then I evict them, and I come in there, whole house is just completely trashed. Like, I got to get a dumpster and start all over again. You know what I'm saying? I've had tenants leave dogs in the rooms that went to the bathroom and chewed the windowsill out. Man, it sounds like some horror story. I see the look in your eyes right now. Like, you
You over here having flashbacks.
It was bad, but
Right.
it took me through all that to get where I'm at now.
Okay.
So don't quit. Don't give up. Don't sell the rental because it's not working out for you. Get rid of that tenant and do better on the next one.
Right. Right. So even when it comes to that, like, I mean, because I know it'd be a lot of people who be in them situations to where they like, you know what? Like, 'cause I had a property listed, you know what I mean, where somebody was trying to sell too. Like, how much would you sell and how much would you keep?
What do you mean? How much?
As far as yours, like, do you sell your properties as well, or do you buy them all and keep them all?
So I've only sold two of my rentals.
Okay.
I sold one earlier this year, 2020. It just comes to a point in time where it's like enough is enough.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't fix it. Tenant moved in and trashed it. I didn't fixed it. Tenant moved in and trashed it. On that third time, who wants this house? Because at this point, I don't want it anymore.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I have got to that point with tenants before. But it was only pretty much that house.
Okay.
And the very first house that I bought. So I've sold two.
So do you think people should buy more or sell more?
Buy more, of course.
Buy more.
Yeah. I mean, real estate is the ultimate goal to financial freedom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm honestly trying to buy every house on the block.
Okay.
You know?
Is there a certain block that you want to buy, or you just whatever block you can buy, you buying?
So to be honest, my target area.
You don't got to throw it all out there. I just if that could be a yes or no question, because we don't want to give nobody no information. Now somebody try to pick you off.
My target area is closer to Parade, down towards Erie Insurance.
Okay. Okay.
Because a little birdie told me that Erie Insurance is going to be buying up everything from Parade over. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody owns any properties over there, I would hold on to them for dear life. Because when they come and they ready to throw that big number at you, I'm going to be waiting right there, ready to collect. So
you got a property over there, don't you? Because I remember cutting some grass or something over some crazy yard one time back a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to keep, running your time. I got a lot more I can ask you and a lot more that I can talk about, but you told me I only got 10 more minutes. And
yeah, I got to get these
you going crazy. So,
they got school tomorrow.
I appreciate you coming on the show. I appreciate you being a guest on the show and just your time. And I want to continue to wish you nothing but the best with you in your real estate journey. I'll be seeing your name all over the place. You really out here doing big things. Like I'm seeing you listing, I'm seeing you buying and you closing and sealing deals. So, I mean, anything that you want to say? Anything that you got to say before we go? I'm going to pass you the mic and let you, do your thing. If you got anything that you want to say before we go off, we live.
I'm saying the biggest part of real estate for me is the follow-up.
Okay.
That's the number one thing that makes me all my money.
Okay.
If they call me and say, hey, I was thinking about buying a house, can you find me something? That's on you to either say, yeah, never call them back again.
Right.
Or take the time out and find them something. You know what I'm saying? Before we get off, I'll just give you a quick example. So, my birthday was March 2nd.
Okay.
That was a Thursday.
That's what's up.
Okay. So partied all weekend. So overdid it a little bit, but it's fine. So Thursday was my actual birthday. I had went out, woke up Friday, and I get a call. The lady is looking for a house to buy while she's here in Erie.
Right.
So she's not from here.
Right.
She just wants kind of like a vacation home.
Right.
So I'm so super hungover, showed her two houses. She was like, yeah, these aren't for me. So I get in my phone. I'm digging. You know what I'm saying? I find one in Girard, 30 minutes from where I'm at.
Right.
So I'm like, there's one more in Girard if you're interested. She's like, yeah, let's go. Right out to Girard. She loves the house. We put in an offer for $150,000 cash and it got accepted today.
Okay.
But just think about that. You know what I'm saying? It was my birthday. I didn't feel like it. Stomach was hurting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I still pushed through with the follow-up.
I'm glad you said that for real. Because I mean, honestly, because I had a listing appointment today. My birthday tomorrow, and I got a listing appointment at 8:25 in the morning. And believe me, I'll be up there ready to rock and roll. So, I definitely appreciate just them couple words of encouragement because I'm gonna take that piece of advice and I'm gonna run with it. And hopefully I catch up to you and see you at the top here.
Yeah, you will. It's a follow-up. I'm telling you, the follow-up with all them people that inquired, were thinking about buying, thinking about selling. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay on them people because if not, they'll go to another realtor real quick on you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you for being a guest on the show. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks for
Um,
having me.
absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna continue to keep it rolling. And like I said, I'm gonna have different women on this show. Thank you, Dana, for your time, and the information that you dropped. And I'm gonna encourage you to run that first time home buyers program back. Like
Okay.
I'm gonna encourage you to run that back because I feel like a lot of people can learn from you, and a lot of people, if they sat back and listened to some of the things that you had to say, they would take it a little bit more serious. And I also want to see, you know what I mean, like you kind of put that information out there a little bit more too, so people can be like, yeah, I'm rocking with Day, and I want to do what she doing because I know how you get down and I see it, but I think a lot of other people don't see it unless they really looking for you, and we need you out here. All right.
Well, thank you. I
Uh-huh.
appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we're gonna end this off. And again, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Catch me next time on the social experiment.